In the headlines, 24-hour curfew still in effect in Kano after tribunal verdict. Condemnation trails murder of veteran journalist in Zamfara. President Tinubu woos investors to Nigeria in New York. And also on the news, Morocco set to spend $11.7 billion on 5-year post-earthquake reconstruction. Hello there. Welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We start in Kano, where residents are complying with the 24-hour curfew imposed across the state after the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sacked Governor Kabir Yusuf of his election victory in the 2023 gubernatorial election in the state. The curfew was declared to avoid a breakdown of law and order, according to the police. Major streets across Kano remain empty, with only security operatives manning strategic locations. Now, the State Commissioner of Police in the state, Usaini Gumel, in a statement says the restriction order begins from 6 p.m. on Wednesday to 6 p.m. on Thursday. Gumel vowed to ensure strict compliance with the order, maintaining and warning defaulters that they will be arrested and will face the full weight of the law. The governor of the state, Abba Kabir Yusuf, has called for calm, saying he has instructed his legal team to appeal the tribunal's judgment, which he described as a temporary setback. Let's get some more from Kano and join our correspondent Idris Jibril for the latest update.
Well, yesterday the Kano State Gubernatorial Election Petition Tribunal declared that the candidate of the All Progressive Congress is the duly elected governor of Kano State. Now, following that development, the Kano State government declared a 24-hour curfew. Now, what you are seeing here today is a total compliance to that curfew that was imposed yesterday by the Kano State government. People are staying indoor. I followed throughout metropolitan city of Kano. Most of the streets you follow, you can only see people trekking on the streets, but you hardly see some vehicle passing around. Shops were closed, markets were also closed, schools were also shut down in compliance of this curfew that was imposed. Now, we were in touch with authorities saying that the reason for the imposition of this curfew is to ensure that there is no violence in Kano, that nobody used the opportunity to perpetrate violence, breaking of law and order throughout Kano State. And I can tell you that with the curfew in effect, Kano is peaceful, only that people are not moving and businesses are not also taking place across the metropolitan city of Kano. I have seen also presence of security operatives mounting checkpoints in all parts of the state, trying to ensure enforcement. Nobody is passing through the streets of Kano, through the major roads of Kano State, unless you have a valid reason to fly through the roads. Only that, like I said, many people, hundreds and thousands of people are seen trekking on the streets. Like you can see these people, they are going to their places of work. Some of them are doing small minor businesses, and they are trekking on the streets wherever they are going. They are lucky that the police allowed them. They are not putting it so much pressure on people. If they understand that you have a valid reason to go somewhere, the police are definitely allowing people to pass. But major public places are actually closed down in Kano, and I can tell you that the city is peaceful. So far, we have not had any incidences of violence or breaking of law and order at the moment.
Idris Jibril with the latest in Kano. Now in Zamfara State, the Nigeria Council of Union of Journalists on Wednesday confirmed the murder of Hamisu Mgibja, the state correspondent of The Voice of Nigeria. A statement issued in Gusau, the Zamfara State capital, by the NUJ Secretary Ibrahim Ahmad says that the body of the deceased was found in a sockaway by those who murdered him. Mgibja had been missing for 3 days before his corpse was found. Sources say that the family was initially contacted to pay ransom to secure his release, but the figure was raised by the faceless individuals or suspects in the murder case. Now, News Agency of Nigeria also gathered that the police had arrested one person in connection with the death or the murder of the veteran journalist. The NUJ had extended its condolence to the deceased family, the Voice of Nigeria, and the people of Zamfara State. It urges security agencies to thoroughly investigate the matter and bring the perpetrators of the dastardly act to justice. The deceased has since been buried in Gusau, according to Islamic Injunction. Staying with that story, the International Press Institute of Nigeria on Thursday called on the Inspector General of Police and other security agencies across the country, including the State Security Service, to immediately launch an investigation into the abduction and subsequent killing of journalist Hamisu Mgibja, a reporter with The Voice of Nigeria in Zamfara State. In a press statement issued by its legal advisor, Toby Soni, the institute, which described the circumstances surrounding the abduction and killing of the journalist as both shocking and deeply concerning, said the brazenness with which Hamisu was abducted and killed in a major city like Gusau is an indication of how unsafe Nigeria has become. The institute is therefore reiterating its call for a swift and thorough investigation into the abduction and murder of Hamisu Mgibja to ensure that those responsible are brought to justice. The institute is also calling for an increased security measure to protect journalists and citizens across all parts of the country. Now, the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Yusho Ahmed, says one of the members of the NYSC corps members abducted in Zamfara State while traveling from Akwa Ibom to Sokoto State has been released, while 7 others remain in captivity. Addressing journalists following a stakeholders meeting in Abuja on Wednesday, the Director General of the NYSC revealed that corps members were abducted in the middle of the night, and General Ahmed made a passionate plea to state governments to ensure the safety of corps members in their states. He further urged them to spend the night in NYSC lodges, military installations, or other designated secure locations. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, has expressed optimism that the looming labour strike will be averted following a crucial meeting with Vice President Kashim Shettima. Lalong, in an interview with State House correspondents shortly after meeting the Vice President at the presidential villa in Abuja, reiterated the commitment of the present administration to the welfare and well-being of Nigerian workers. He said the federal government is in talks with the NLC to avert the planned indefinite strike action in the country.
On so many issues that we discuss and also follow up. Mr. President is not around and the Vice President is around. So many of the issues will also continue with the Vice President so that there will be smooth, harmonious relationship with the labor. No, for me, I don't think there's any problem. We are moving very fine with them, with the Nigerian labor. And you know, the posture of the President too is towards good welfare for the labor in Nigeria. So we have no doubt. That's why many of the meetings we had with them, we are not ending up boxing ourselves. We are smiling, all of us, with hope that the best is going to come.
In other news, the Enugu State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal has dismissed the petition of Chris Agu of the People's Redemption Party against the election of Peter Mbah for alleged forgery of his National Youth Service Corps certificate, as well as non-qualification and corruption practices. The PRP had claimed that Mbah entered a plea bargain with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) in the past. But the tribunal, chaired by Justice Kudirat Murayo, on Thursday held that the petitioner failed to prove that the respondent did not possess the minimum requirement to stand for election, which is a school certificate or its equivalent. The tribunal says there is no evidence to support the claim that Mbah is not qualified to stand for election. The tribunal averred that the exhibits presented by the petitioners did not show any plea bargain by the respondent. It also held that the proof, or rather, the petitioners held that the issue of forgery, the petitioners must provide the original certificate as well as the forged one. The panel also resolved the issue that Governor Mbah was not elected by the majority of vote cast against the petitioner. In Lagos, a fire incident has reportedly engulfed parts of Ibis Royal Hotel around Ajao Estate along the airport road in Lagos State on Wednesday. Verified videos on social media platforms showed what appeared to be a two-story building engulfed by flames. The senior special assistant to Governor Sanwo-Olu on new media, Jibril Gawat, in a post on X, confirmed the incident, stating that the fire was reported around 4:50 p.m. Gawat added that the Isolo and Bolade fire crews of the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service have successfully curtailed the fire to prevent substantial damage to facilities in the area. Well, you're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, Benue residents call for help as rains damage roads across the state. More on this and many other stories coming up ahead after the break.
Welcome to Showtime.
I don't even believe there's any other industry that will handle me like movie industry.
Yeah.
I told you I'm deep and soaked into movie industry.
In secondary school, there's Fatima and Mariam Adamu, and then we sort of took the names of the characters in that cartoon.
I think entertainers themselves need to wake up and smell the coffee and say, diversification is the way to go. Yes, you can sing or make great beats or, act in a film, but what else can you do?
I became one of the best makeup artists in Nigeria. I won AMA Award Best Makeup Artist.
Do you think we are I need the fool do when I talk to you, you stand straight. Attention!
Welcome back to the news. Thank you very much for staying with us. Here's a reminder of our top stories at this hour. Kano State's residents comply with 24-hour curfew imposed after verdict in the state. Condemnation trails murder of veteran journalist in Zamfara. Now, a member of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Damilare Mohammed, has been arrested for his alleged involvement in a cult activity that resulted in a clash in Shagamu area over the weekend. Now, 5 other suspected cultists were arrested in connection with the incident, which started Wednesday through Sunday, leading to several deaths, and were also arrested and paraded by the police. The lawmaker representing Shagamu State Constituency 1 is alleged to have provided shelter to the fleeing cultists in the area. In a sting operation after a tip-off, a team of security operatives comprising men of the Department of State Services arrested the suspects in the lawmaker's premises. The development is coming months after the DSS arrested Bello for masterminding the violent protests in Shagamu area over the narrow redesigned policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, the controversial death of popular Afrobeat star Mohbad continues to generate reactions from the public as youths in Osun State have added their voice to calls for proper investigation into the matter. Now, the youths allege that the 27-year-old musician was murdered, insisting that his killers must be brought to book. Hamid Oyebade tells us more.
From Dele Yesa roundabout to Dada Estate, Okefia, Olaiya, up to the Freedom Park, the youths occupied the major roads in Osogbo, demanding justice for the late musician Ilerioluwa Oladimeji Aloba, popularly known as Mohbad. Born on June 8, 1996, Mohbad, a Nigerian rapper, singer, and songwriter, died under controversial circumstances on the 12th of September 2023. The protesters said Mohbad's death in his prime was painful, calling on government to arrest and prosecute his killers to prevent recurrence of such unwarranted killings.
We are demanding for justice for Imole Mohbad. That's why we are all out today here. So we want justice from the government. Please help us. We must teach these people out. We are here this evening in solidarity for our brother, our friend, and a very talented musician, Mohbad. And the reason why we're here this evening is in 2 parts. We're here this evening to pay the last respect to him, and we are here to also remind the government to do more on their task of seeking for justice for Mohbad. We want them to help us strengthen more their investigation and bring to us justice on Mohbad, and bring anyone that have ends in the sudden death of this guy to book. We want justice for Mohbad, and that is the reason why this is happening right now in this country. It's a matter of nationwide, and we are here in solidarity to join our youth across the nation.
This has to stop. They have been killing our young artists so far. We thank God. Look at this, what is going on in Nigeria nowadays. They are doing it in Osun State, in Kwara State, in Abeokuta, in Ire. This has to be stopped.
As the demand for justice for Mohbad keeps spreading across the country, the youths in Osun State said they are optimistic that government will bring these killers to book. Hamid Oyebade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
Elsewhere, there's a growing public outcry in Benue State by residents on the need for better road infrastructure across the state that have remained dilapidated over the years. Many communities remain cut off due to bad roads, making commerce and trade difficult for a state known as the food basket of the nation. Jimmy Azande reports from Makurdi.
Benue residents said for now, the Makurdi-Lafia-Kefi-Abuja Trunk A Road is the only highway in the state that is in good condition.
Why? Because one, it will lessen the congestion on the highway. It will reduce rate of accident on the highway too, and also it will boost the morale of travelers. Because you see, before now, people feel that the road from Makurdi to Abuja is a very bad one, and traveling, it's a problem to them in terms of bad road and bad structure of the road.
The other roads connecting other states and local governments are in a sorry state. In most cases, these roads have become death traps, thereby risking the lives of commuters.
Basically, the roads are terrible. One would say the federal roads in Benue State are in a very bad shape. If you take, for instance, from Makurdi to Enugu, it's not motorable. A journey that should have taken you barely 3-4 hours, you're doing 6 hours on the road. It's not just Makurdi to Enugu. Boko to Vandikia, through you, it's terrible.
They want the government to fix the basic amenities like roads in the state to ensure a seamless flow of vehicular traffic.
Because we, the electorate, we don't demand any kind of a form of incentive by giving us cash. All we need is social amenities. When there are good roads, we have good hospital, we have a good school, and all these essential amenities are there. Then we are good to go. We'll be happy. So if there's any project that will be abandoned or they have not been able to finish, they should not abandon such a project. They should rather continue from where they stop.
So I am urging and calling on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, see that these roads are fixed.
For more than a decade and counting, the bad roads in the state have been a nightmare to motorists, who are urging the federal government to act fast to salvage the situation. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Now, in international business, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu rang the closing bell at the Nasdaq Stock Exchange market in New York on Wednesday as he called on the United States business community to invest in Nigeria's bubbling market. President Tinubu, who is attending the ongoing 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly, was accompanied to the bell ceremony by the president of the U.S.-Africa Business Center at the United States Chamber of Commerce, Scott Eisner. The closing bell ceremony held at the 7-story tower of the Nasdaq headquarters in New York signifies the end of a trading session. Now, the Nigerian president cited the removal of, quote, a lot of bottlenecks, including fuel subsidy, which he described as corrupt, adding that his administration had retooled the exchange rate to a, quote, reliable, dependable one-figure floating of the exchange naira.
It's a great honor for me to be here. I am happy to bring Nigeria to your doorsteps and honored that we are here today with a bubbling market that will evolve West Africa's sub-region. The greatest economy is Nigeria. There's an immense opportunity in Nigeria that you can invest your money without fear. We've removed a lot of bottlenecks. We've cleared the oil subsidy that is corrupt, and we have also retooled the exchange rate to a reliable, dependable, one-figure floating of the exchange naira. You are free to take in your money and bring out your money. I count on you to invest in Nigeria. Be confident in that.
Staying with international developments, Morocco is planning to spend at least $100 120 billion dirhams, which is equivalent to about $11.7 billion in a post-earthquake reconstruction plan over the next 5 years, according to the Royal Palace in a statement on Wednesday. A 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck on September 8th, killing more than 2,900 people, mostly in the hard-to-reach villages of the High Atlas Mountains. Now, the plan would target 4.2 million people in the worst-hit provinces of Al-Haouz, Chichaoua, Taraudant, Marrakesh, Ouarzazate, and Azizlal, the palace said in a statement following a meeting of King Mohammed VI with government and army officials. The plan covers rehousing and the upgrade of infrastructure in a way that is conducive to social and economic development in the quake-hit areas. Now, it said in a statement, the quake-stricken areas are among Morocco's poorest and many remote villages lacking proper roads and public services. The Royal Palace says the plan would be funded by the government's budget, international aid, and will also be that there is a fund that has been set up as a response to the earthquake. The fund has so far received some $700 million in donation. Nigeria has qualified for the 2024 IHF Women's Youth World Championship after defeating Morocco 28-14 on Wednesday at the Africa Women's Youth Handball Championship in Monastir, Tunisia. The Nigeria under 18 women's handball team went into the match with seriousness it deserves, knowing fully well that a victory will qualify the team for the Mondial, and with that mindset, they thoroughly took the bull by the horn as they comfortably won the first half 17-5. The Moroccans came back in the second half determined to reduce the deficit, but they met a compact Nigerian side led by coach Shitu Adewumi, who outscored them and won the match 28-15. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Thank you most kindly for joining us. As always, we urge you to follow us across our social media platforms to keep up with our content, or visit trusttv.com for more news. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.